ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। चरितं रघुनाथस्य शतकोटिप्रविस्तरम् एकैकमक्षरं पुंसां महापातकनाशकम् महापातकनाशकम्। Vibhishan Gita will chant this very beautiful portion of Ramacharitmanas, where Vibhishana is worried about Bhagwan. When Bhagwan faced Ravana, Ravana was fully equipped externally, and Ramji externally he was not equipped, he was unequipped, and that brought worry in the heart of Vibhishana because he loved Lord so much. Because of that, we'll see. रावणुरथि बिरथ रघुबीरा देखि विभीषण भयहु अधीरा अधिक प्रीति मन भासंदेहा बंदी चरण कह सहित सनेहा नाथ न रथ नहीं तन पद त्राना केहि विधि जितब वीर बलवाना सुनहु सखा कह कृपा निधाना जेहि जय होई सो स्यंदन आना सौरज धीरज तेहि रथ चाका सत्यशील दृढ़ ध्वजा पताका बल विवेक दम परहित घोरे क्षमा कृपा समता रजु जोरे. When Vibhishana saw Ravanurathi Biratha Raghubira. Raghubira, we saw the dynasty of Lord Rama. All kings were great and they protected their dynasty very nicely. So nobody missed out on any point. All were great in his dynasty. That is why Raghuvira word came. So Ravana, he was mounted on Ratha chariot, and Ramji barefooted on the land, and on the earth he was just standing with Kodanda, with a bow and arrow. Dekhi Vibhishan Bhayav Adhira, Vibhishan Bhayav, and Vibhishana was worried and he became restless when he saw the condition. Adhika Preeti, this was out of love, unlike Arjuna. Arjuna was also afraid but out of delusion. Manabha Sandeha, and he had doubt. Bandi Charana, he knelt down with folded hand. Kaha Sahita Saneha, and with tender heart he spoke to Lord. Nath, O Lord, na ratha nahi tanapada trana. Trana means no chappals, no footwears. Okay. Na ratha, no chariot also. Kehi bidhi, how are you going to win over this Veer Ballavana? We saw many Veer, Dharmaveer, Danaveer, all Veer, 5 kinds of Veer we saw. How are you going to win over this mighty Ravana? Then Bhagavan says, Sunahu Sakha. So we saw 3 kinds of chariot. That one is Yuddha Ratha, Vihara Ratha, and this is Dharma Ratha, chariot of Dharma. Sunahu Sakha, oh friend, you listen this. Kaha Krupa Nidhana. And Bhagavan, who is the abode of Krupa, he told to Vibhishana, Jehi Jaya hoi so Syandan ana. Now I will bring that chariot. Syandana means chariot, which definitely give you the victory. Jehi Jaya hoi, that which will give victory all the time. That kind of Ratha, chariot, I will explain now. Okay, then we saw last time, bit disturbance was there last time. Sauraja Dhiraja Tehi Ratha Chaka. So this metaphor has come from Upanishad up to this Purana Katha. In Upanishads we saw Kathopanishad explains Atmanam Rathinam Vidhi, the full shloka, 2 shlokas, where what is the chariot, body is chariot, intellect is Sarthi, Jivatma is the Rathi, and sense organs, they are the horses, mind is the rein. All metaphor we saw. Okay, same kind of metaphor is applied in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is Sarthi, which is Buddhi, Arjuna is Jivatma, same way. And but what is this again explanation of same metaphor? So there, what are the wheels of chariot was not explained. What are the reins? Not explained. How? What are the horses? Didn't explain. So it is full explanation of this chariot, which will help us to move on the spiritual path. Yes. Sauraja Dhiraja. So we saw last time what is Sauraja, Shaurya. Dhiraja means stability, steadfastness. If you want to, all this is going to help you to move on spiritual path. Who bothers, who cares what happened between Rama and Ravana? Nobody bothers. This is the actually depiction of our life. What it shows, signifies, Ravana is ahankara, ego in us. Ego means finitudeness in us. Rama is Atma, Atma in us. Atma Rama, Ananda Ramana. That is Atma. Ahankara is also right there. Okay. Ahankara is fully equipped with sense organ, these, that. Who is having everything? Ahankara. But Rama is going to win over. Atma Chaitanya will always prevail over Ahankara. So that journey is extended here. Not some Rama is standing on land, earth, and is going to fight. Rama means Atma Chaitanya. Ravana means Ahankara, who has all parameters. Who has body? Ahankara says, I am body. Atma never say, I am body. So Sauraja Dhiraja. I will throw more light on this Savraj Dhiraja. Small preparation. Today is the fifth session and we are moving ahead towards our third shloka. Okay, Sauraja means Shaurya. Today I am going to tell you many examples, many illustrations which will help us to understand more. Illustrations generally they are given so that we can understand concept and we can see that concept in our life. So you can see Shaurya means what? In our life, many times we need helpers. We need some people who will help us to come out from the situation, dilemma, many things. But Shaurya means what? Alone I can confront my problem. Alone I can come out from my problem. That is called Shaurya. From example you can understand clearly. Many times alone we can't do many things. So we need somebody who will take away from that problem. So you can see sun. These examples are given by Gnaneshwar Maharaj in Gita. Many times this topic comes. Okay, Shauryam Tejo Dhrutir Daksham. So 8 Lakshanam we saw last time of a Kshatriya. So when sun comes, that sun doesn't need anybody's help. That sun alone is capable of giving light to whole world. Gnaneshwar Maharaj says, if you ask a child, how big is this sun? So that child will say this much. Okay, sun is this much only. But that sun will dispel the darkness of whole world. There will not be a place where darkness can exist in the presence of sun. Sun doesn't need anybody to dispel problems. Same way, I alone should be able to dispel all problems from my life. So that is called Shaurya. When Arjuna used to fight, single-handedly he would conquer. He would fought. Fight with all. The first example Gnaneshwar Maharaj gave was sun. So sun can give light to everything. Lion, another example. Lion alone can do shikar, hunting. He don't need anybody's help. Okay, that is called Shaurya. Lion can go anywhere, can catch anybody, even deer, whose speed is much more faster than the lion also. But that power is there, Shaurya is there, he doesn't need help of anybody. So that is called Shaurya. So generally in our life, I'm telling you, we have to solve our problems. Some problems we can share, but some are we can't share with people. Like if I'm suffering from fever, nobody can take that fever from me. So I have to have that Shaurya so I can tackle that problem alone. This is the best quality. Then only we can move in spiritual path and in empirical world also. See, these qualities, they are not just for spiritual path. In daily life also we need. So in the night, if we have to travel, we need Shaurya. Alone I can cover the distance. Alone I can go anywhere. So many situations are there in life. Okay. So this is sun and lion. Second Lakshana, indicator of Shauryam is nobody can put us down or nobody can put you down. That is called Shauryam. Means example is given, very simple example. So sometimes somebody can knock us down. Sometimes other situations are heavy on us. So what is Shaurya? Nobody can put you down. That is Shaurya. You are still standing. No matter how many problems comes, you are ready to face them. Same way, like example is given, neither constellations nor moon can fade away the light of sun. So light of sun alone is capable. So that other auxiliary means are there or other things are there like stars, moon, they can't give light to sun. Okay, they cannot fade away the light of sun also. So nobody can, these all examples are given by Dhaneshwar Maharaj. So that is called Shaurya. So in spiritual path, we have to move ahead, then we should have Shaurya. Problems will be there, I have to deal with those problems. They will put you down. You have to bounce back and again retrieve to your journey. Okay. Dheeraj means what? Valor. Oh, Dheeraj means steadfastness. You are stick to your goal. You are so consistent and you are continuing your goal. So Dheeraj means what? No matter what come in my way, I will come out of it. This is called Dhairya. So you have started some journey, the problems will come. So Dheeraj, you are steadfast, you are calm, and you are stick to your goal. Example is given, beautiful example, lotus. You can see how big pond is there or lake is there, deep, but still that lotus comes out of that water. So that water can pull down that lotus, but still that lotus comes out and it blooms. Same way, situations are there, they will put you down. You have to penetrate them and you have to come up and stand again. Okay. Dheeraj is what? Mind and intellect is there. Fine. That mind will always cloud my intellect, will cover my intellect because circumstances are like that. Mind will always be flickering. It will confuse your intellect. And in that situation, if intellect is so strong, this is very difficult. If intellect is so strong, yes, I am determined in my mind, I have decided this, I will go with this. Mind will not change the decision. Mind will not shake my intellect. Example is given by Dhaneshwar Maharaj. The sky. Sky is the biggest Pancha Mahabhuta. This book is the Panchikara, means five are there. Mainly Prithvi Amsha is more here. So Prithvi is so big and sky is bigger than that. The biggest one is sky. If that sky falls on me, still I continue to pursue my goal. This is called Dheeraj. Come what may, I will pursue my goal. Okay. Next, what is Dheeraj? All will sound, same, but each aspect is uh, fulfilling different purposes. We can think over it. Okay, Dheeraj means what? Dhaneshwar Maharaj says, swallow whatever comes in between your goal or in your goal between. Swallow whatever comes. You know what are going to come in between you and your goal, you and your happiness? First is sense organs will be turbulent. This is the first wave. Dhaneshwar Maharaj gave the example that you have to be like Agasti. Like Agasti swallowed full ocean. How many waves? Countless waves. Like that, the Dhaneshwar Maharaj says, three waves will be there. Upanishad says, six wave will be there continuously. Consistently, you will be challenged by those waves. Shad Urmi in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Yes. So what is the first wave? First wave is sense organs. They will be turbulent. Okay. Second, past karma will bring diseases. You see here, diseases, they are also the past karma's result. Like heavy diseases, like cancer. You will see people who never had tobacco or anything, any addiction, but they had this cancer. So what brings this? Tukaram Maharaj also says, Tuka mhane pape yeti rogachiya mape. So papa will come, papa will results into roga, because ultimately that papa has to reduce your dukkham. So dukkha, how it will come? In the form of diseases. Okay, so when diseases come, you have to be steadfast. Second wave. And third wave, when beloved people goes away and people, those who I don't like, they will come in contact with me. So priya viyog, apriya sanyog. It is said in this way. So three waves, we have to swallow those waves, and I should stand like Agastya Rishi, and I should drink all waves of ocean. So generally three waves will be disturbing day and night to us. Sense organ, it is very, very difficult if we are not practicing it. Diseases, if diseases comes, then it's very difficult to do anything. So dhiraj is another important aspect. Okay, now coming the most fascinating topic, which elsewhere is not explained. Ratha also means wheels are also not explained, but now more detail. Bala, what are the horses? Oh, I have written horses. What are the horses? Okay, so Bala, Vivek, Dama, and Parahita. So as this is Bhakti Grantha, Parahita also came here. Generally, Vivek, Shama, Dama, we know. These are the Vedantic terms. But you can see in this chariot, like Sarathi is not here like intellect. Sarathi in this chariot is bhajan. So it has come up to our level. Many times we say this is very difficult to understand, to practice also in life. Can you sing bhajan? Yes, I can sing bhajan. So here bhajan is your Sarathi now. Bhajan will guide you. Bhajan will take this Atma towards Bhagwan. So this way it is diluted, or you can say moreover, as per our qualification, this qualification is presented. This is qualification actually. So bala means strength. Okay, this chariot will move on bhakti, on spiritual path, when we have strength. Okay, second is viveka, discrimination. Next is dama, self control, and parahita. Okay, parahita means care for others or caring for others. Very few times our shastra discuss these points, but this is actually need of the hour now. You see corona situation around us, many phone calls will come. Whatever we can do, we have to do. If you can't do anything, just encourage that person, or just give him, you will be okay, you will be all right, nothing has happened to you, it is just a fever. You can give some soothing words, he will feel better, definitely. So horses are these four horses. Okay, first is bala. We'll discuss this bala, strength, which is the very important. If you want to sit, Tukaram Maharaj says this kathechi samugri deha avasana vari. Tukaram Maharaj says, if you want to listen Bhagwan's katha, samugri, the capital you need is this body. If body health is not well, you cannot sit down for more than 1 hour. So when we were in Sandipani Sadhanalaya, that time every day 6-hour sittings were there. 6-hour sitting was there. 6 to 5 to 5:30, 7 to 8, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, again afternoon, again evening. So 6-7 hour sitting was there. So you need physical strength. Your eyes should be, enough strong so that you can read book after book. Okay, so that needs. Otherwise, in the beginning, glasses, then eyes are the very important aspect of study. Okay, that is physical strength. But in our shastra, in Marathi, I have written here, but fine, doesn't make any difference. Kayik bal, bal in Hindi we say kayik bal, means physical strength, vacha, speech level strength, manasik bal means mind level strength. Okay, these three strengths are there, we need in spiritual path. Rama is telling, I have all this strength. My chariot is different. Okay. So with Ravana, with chariot also is not physically strong. I am so strong. From Vachik speech level also, I am so strong. If Ravana speaks some dialogue with me, I will defeat him in talking only. Yes, this is a very powerful. In negative way, I am telling you, or in practical way, I am telling you. Like when Hanumanji stood in the court of Ravana, Hanumanji spoke such a great word. Ravana thought that I am definitely going to lose this battle, because the words were so powerful that he said, I am going to means what will happen to me now, I don't know. When Angad went there, dialogue between Hanumanji and Ravana is actually wonderful. You can see in Lanka Kand only, wonderful dialogues. Hanumanji was not at all afraid. He was standing as though he is standing in front of his mother or his enemy. No fear at all. Vachik Bal, because Ram Nama chanting. So Vachik Bal is already, it is that Vacha is speech is containing, having that Vachik Bal. Manasik Bal, there are different types. So one by one we will see. Any question? No. So Kaik Bal, when it comes Bal, then we say Bhima is the, acme of this Kaik Bal. So he was so powerful. Many stories are there how he got the Balam, and 10,000 elephants, that much Balam he had. It is said that when Bhima was born, and then his mother took him in her hand, and he fell down because weight was so much, and that when Bhima fell on one stone, that stone broke down. That is the Kaik Bal. So if you hit something, that thing is broken down. So that Kaik Bal means you should be enough strong to sit, to read, to chant. So sometimes 6 hour sittings in Katha, Bhagavad Katha, Ramayana Katha, 6 hours they will be sitting. So that will help you to move ahead in your spiritual path. Vachik Bal means not that I will scold somebody or I will play with words, I will pull down that person. That is not Vachik Bal. That is, what do we say? Different thing. It is not good thing that I can play with word, I can trick some person, I will caught him in words. So that is not Vachik Bal. Tukaram Maharaj says, Vachik Bal means Bolu aise bole, jene bole, Vitthal dole. It's a very beautiful word. Bolu aise bole. That is called Vachik Bal. Jene bole, by those words, Vitthal dole. Lord will start, moving. He will be moved by your word, Lord. That is called Vachik Bal. Okay, so we can easily hurt people. Okay, we can sweet lines also we can tell, but God will be pleased by my words. That is Vachik Bal. Manasik Bal, mind level, many balam we require. Yoga balam, all are quotations from Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, many kinds of strength they are described. So this actually is in Yoga Balena Chaiva 6 or in 9 chapter maybe. Yes, one is called Yoga Bala. Yoga Bala. So my mind is so strong. Yoga generally deals with our mind. Jnana Bala. Jnana Bala is what? Jnanam will destroy your all karmas. That is called Jnana Bala. Sarvam karma khilam partha jnane parisamapyate. This is in 4th chapter. Okay. And Bhakti Bala. Bhagwan says in 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that if you want to enter in me, if you want to know me, if you want to see me, then you have to go with bhakti only. भक्त्या तु अनन्यया शक्यः एवं विधोर्जुन एवं अहम विधोर्जुन. I will be known through bhakti only, and that too ananyaya bhakti. Okay, so this is actually strength. We need yoga strength. Mind should be strong. Jnana balam, intellect also should be strong, and bhakti. So, Gurudev says, filler, thinker. Okay, that all three aspects are covered. Okay, strength. And Bhagwan says, our strength is depending upon our desires and attachment. This is something new. Bhagwan says, I am the strength of those people who are devoid of, means who are having less desires and devoid of raga. Kama raga vivarjitam balam balavatam cha aham. Aham balam balavatam. I am the strength among all strong people. I am the strength of those people who don't have kama, who doesn't have kama, and devoid of raga. So desires and attachment, they will create lot of weakness in you. If you see Ramayana only, it is said that when Ravana had to approach Sita Maya, when they were in that forest, then he had to took a form of dog, and that too he was so frightened that Rama is there or not, when Rama will come. He wanted to see Sita, he wanted to approach that Sita, so he took a form of a dog and he was so frightened. So because desires were there, so much attachment was there, that is why Ravana, though he was mighty, he was not having any strength, because he was afraid in his mind. And you see, on the other hand, Sita Maya, you see a lady who has been kidnapped by a mighty demon, kept in a one forest, one garden, and he doesn't know when Rama will come. You can see, you can put yourself in that situation. It is very difficult. But Sita was so strong. Tulsi Ramayana is actually a best text where a jnani also can take delight, and a beginner also can enjoy the stories and these things, everything. You can see the dialogue between Sita and Ravan. Sita, you will never feel, you will never think that Sita will speak such words. And Ravana also was so furious because he did not see any fear on the face of Sita. So, and that Sita Maya's answer were very powerful. Yes, every day it is said that Ravana would come to Sita and he would harass Sita like anything. He would speak bad word to Sita Maya. And Sita Maya never looked up, that her eyes were always focused on her toe. He was looking down and he was talking like that only. So that is actually strength, not at all afraid in her heart. And there were a demon also, one, she helped our Sita Maya, and she thought, how you are so powerful and strong, from where you get this much strength to face Ravana? Sometimes we don't get strength to face our boss. Okay, so Sita Maya alone in the forest, she was facing Ravana. So how? Because there was no desire, a binding desire. Desire was there that Rama should come, Rama will come, but binding desires were not there. So he was not at all afraid. Strength was there. And on the other hand, love, attachment, desires made Ravana weak. Yes, this is called strength. Okay. So discrimination, again with some few examples. Discrimination, we have seen many times this definition, this word. Viveka means you have to separate, distinguish between two things. One is good and another is bad. distinguish between two is called Viveka. And generally, for a common man, what is my duty? That I have to distinguish. Because Arjuna also say, Dharma Sammudha Chetaha. I can't distinguish between dharma and adharma, my duty and what is not my duty. Like Arjuna told to Bhagavan that I feel I should beg instead of fighting with my near and dear one. So he was confused in his duty. Sometimes we are also confused. Father's duty, mother's duty, employee's duty, society some duty, many duties are there. So which duty I have to fulfill, I have to do first? We are also confused. So generally Viveka in the beginning is, what is my duty? And then when you do your duty, then again sadhana sadhya vivek, then satya nitya anitya vivek, purushartha vivek, satya anitya vivek, then satya mithya vivek, then brahma ahankara vivek. There vivek ends. Once you separate yourself from the ahankara, then viveka is over. So what is generally viveka? Two things are totally mixed with each other and I have to separate those. Physically I can't separate because mithya, Vedanta comes here when viveka comes. So mithya vastu will have adhisthana satyam, and mithya vastu means a snake on the rope. Can't that snake, illusory snake, cannot exist without a rope. Okay, so same way I cannot separate snake and rope, illusory snake and rope. Okay, same way illusory world and real Brahma, I cannot segregate, I cannot distinguish between them physically. So there viveka comes. So example given is milk and water. Like swan bird, he separates that milk and water. Yes. Second example is, you see in each example something is very precious, valuable, and something is not that valuable. Milk and water. So milk is actually valuable. Okay, gold and other metals. You see gold, you're very fond of gold. That gold, if you see nice designs and decorations, it is actually mixed with other metals also there. So if you go to goldsmith, he will tell the value, he will evaluate that gold. You will say it is this much. No, he will say no, there is these metals are also in that gold, mixed with that gold. So goldsmith will know the exact value. So goldsmith know how to differentiate, how to segregate between two things, how to discern two things. So butter and here gold is precious and metal is normal as usual. Butter and curd. So butter is actually, or clarified butter is actually a something essence, very wonderful thing. Curd is actually normal. So two things are mixed. So mother can easily segregate these two things. And grain and husk is four example given by Naneshwar Maharaj. So different people can understand at different level. Basically, from good and bad, from dharma and adharma, I have to segregate. Yes. So this is Viveka. This is second horse. So that my ratha, my spiritual journey will move ahead when I have strength. How many strength? So much qualification is required here. Viveka also is required. Okay. Next is Dhamma and Parahita. So Dhamma also very thoroughly discussed in our Vedanta. So here you can see objects means a wind, a metaphor, small metaphor. Organs, sense organs means gates, and our mind where actually knowledge is there. That mind is actually lamp. So Dhamma means what? I will close my gates. I will disrupt or I will cut the contact between object and mind. This is called Dhamma. Okay. Objects will be there and I will control myself is a first level Dhamma. So some jalebi, gulab jamun is there, and I will not eat because today is my fast. I will not eat. This is one kind of Dhamma. But I will cut the contact of my sense organ, uh, object, and my mind. So I will keep all objects out, away from my sense organ. This is another kind of Dhamma. Okay, so object is like a wind, and that wind will enter through our sense organs, and it will put off the knowledge lamp which is there in our mind. So mind we have to keep away from the objects. How I will keep? Dhamma will help me. Dhamma will shut the doors so that wind object cannot come inside. Okay, Dhamma means another aspect is upavas. Yes, many people they say, I can't fast. Why to fast? Many questions on that. I can't fast. But upavasa is actually Dhamma. You are practicing controlling your sense organ. Okay, different vows we take, like on every Ekadashi, I will Ekabhuktam. Once in full day, once I will eat. Ekabhuktam. Like that, Dhamma. One story is there, beautiful story. Actually, it is a real story. Okay. Shall I tell? Yes. So, goat is such a wonderful animal. Okay, goat. That goat is such a wonderful animal. Whole day that animal will eat. Okay, goat whole day she will eat leaves, whatever. And in the evening, if you give something to that goat will have that also. Means her belly is always ready. Gates are open to eat. And one day, king thought, I want to control this goat because this is a very bad animal, all the time eating, day and night eating. Then many people tried. Nobody could successful in that task. But one person was there. He told, I will bring goat and she will not eat anything. So every day some person would try, yes, I'm going to bring that goat now and she will not have anything. And when king would do experiment. He will put just green grass or some leaves, and she will immediately go. Then one intelligent person, what he did, he trained that goat. Okay, so first 30 days, that goat, he would bring that goat, he would tie to a one stick or one bamboo, and then he would heat that goat. As soon as she opens her mouth or as soon as she goes towards that grass, he would heat, he would beat that goat. 20-30 days continuously this was going on. And one day he announced that I am going to be successful in this task now. My goat will not eat anything. And one day then he brought that goat, and whole kingdom is now watching, because first time this is going to happen. And as soon as the pariksha exam was there, then that goat came. Raja, that king, puts the leaf, green grass in front of that goat, and immediately this person comes with stick there. As soon as that goat sees that stick, she knows, if I go out, I will be beaten up. If I go near to that grass, I will be beaten up. So that goat did not go near to that leaf and grass. So all people were, shocked. How you did this? So he said, Dhamma. Every day I was beating that goat, and then only that goat understood I should not go there. Same way Jnaneshwar Maharaj says that Dhamma here means every day you have to beat your sense organ with vidhi. Like upavasa is a vidhi. We are not torturing our body. Torturing is different, and vidhivat controlling our body is different. So you have to do fasting. These many practices are there where controlling of sense organs is done. Like many people, they say Maunam on Ekadashi. No matter how many phone calls, I will not answer. So when we were in ashram, today is our Swamiji's birthday. So when we were in ashram, Swamiji told every Tuesday is Maunam. Nobody will speak with anybody. Even nobody can go to Swamiji and ask what is this, what is that. No, that is Dhamma at speech level. So that goat example is actually nice, where in 16th chapter Dhaneshwar Maharaj give this example that vidhi cheni dande, that stick is vidhi. Okay, you go by shastra and control your sense organ, have mastery over it. Yes. Now the interesting thing is four horses and reins are three. Yes, you can see bala viveka dama parahita ghore. Parahita means working for well-beings of other. Only Santa Mahatma, they can do this, working for other. Parahita. Gita also says the same. You know, Bhagavad, Ramayanam, Gita, they all are interlinked with each other. Only need is we need those kind of eyes, where we can see the differences. Sarva bhuta hite rataha. 12th chapter means what? Parahita ghore. Actually, it is said that Tulsi Das ji 15 years, 15 saal, he did the Vedanta Adhyanam. So we cannot say, because in Ramayana, Tulsi Ramayanam, many shlokas are in Sanskrit. So 15 years he did the study of Vedanta. So some Gita somewhere Bhagavatam. So this you can see here, just Gita and Ramayanam comparison, that in Bhagavad Gita qualities of Brahmana is explained and qualities of Kshatriya is explained. Here you can see that difference is actually uh, taken away. Here you can see Shama, Dama, these are the quality of Brahmanas. Okay, Shamo, Damas, Tapas, Chaiva, Swadhyayam, these all are qualities of Brahmanas, main essential qualities of Brahman. But here you can see Shaurya, which is the quality of Kshatriya, and this Dama, Shama, these are the important qualities of Brahman. So Brahmana, Kshatriya, both things should be present in us, in our personality. So reins are three and horses are four. So how are you going to control one extra horse? Bala, Viveka, Dama, Parahita, Ghore. Ghore means horses. Chama, Krupa, Samata, Raju, Jore. And this Chama, this is actually Awadhi Bhasha. Chama means Kshama. Krupa means compassion. And Samata means equanimity, equal in all conditions. Raju here means Raju, Sanskrit word. Raju means the reins. Jore. Jore means those reins are connected to those horses. Three reins, four horses. So you have to understand here. So if we'll see that one rein will work in two ways. Okay, so this is Parahita. Sarvabhuta Hiterataha, 12th chapter, 5th shloka, where others' well-being. Okay, you can help them whichever way is possible. Now, Shama point, very important point. So you can control your horses. Horses are different now, Shama. So 3-level Shama is there. Okay, whichever level we can fit in, we have to upgrade ourselves. Person doesn't feel he has been offended. First level of Shama. Example is given of Eknath Maharaj. Briefly, I will narrate that. So Eknath Maharaj is called as, he was entitled by Shanti Brahma. Shanti Brahma. He would never get angry in any condition. So people would get angry that why he doesn't get angry on anything. People would get angry. So Brahmana thought, we will pay you means one Yavan was there, a Muslim person. We will pay you. You have to annoy our Eknath Maharaj. He said, what is there? You just pay me. I will do whatever you want. So they generally do whatever they, if you pay them. Okay. So he was sitting on a tree, and Eknath Maharaj would every day go to take bath in Godavari river. Actually, Paitan is the place. It is called Old Mini Kashi, Paitan. So Paitan, Kashi, and this mini Kashi is in Maharashtra called Paitan. Its actually name is Pratishthan. Pratishthan became Paitan. Okay, Paitan. Okay. So Eknath Maharaj every day he would go to take bath, and that person he spat on Eknath Maharaj. Once he spat, okay. Then Eknath Maharaj didn't say anything. He went back. Again, Eknath Maharaj was coming. He again spat on Eknath Maharaj. Like that, many times, several times, he spat on Eknath Maharaj. And then I think he must have, run out of that speed. And then he was totally convinced that Eknath Maharaj is not an ordinary person. And he fell flat on Eknath Maharaj's feet. And he said, you please forgive me. Eknath Maharaj said, for what? For what I should forgive you? He said, no, I spat on you many times, several times, and you didn't speak a single word to me. He said, no, no, no. If once I go to Godavari and I take bath, I get lot of punya, merits. Because of you, 118 times I went to Godavari. Today I had lot of punyas, and I could enjoy my solitude. I could do more namasmarana. This is one level of kshama. A person will not feel that he has been offended. Okay. Second, when a person feels offended but still forgives and forgets. Okay, forgive is one thing and forgets is another thing. We may forgive one person. These are all qualities of Santa Mahatma. After a lot of sadhanas, they will start coming in us. So forgiving is one thing. Okay, I forgive you, but we don't forget. We remember that yes, that person has done this to me. I have forgiven him, but why he done this? Why he did this? This kind of remembrance will be there. So second is I will forgive that person, but I will forgive also. Means I will accept that yes, you have offended me. I will forgive you. This is second level. And third is one forgives only when the offending party apologizes. Means a person, if he apologizes me, then only I will forgive him. Otherwise, no, I will not forgive him. Unless that person says sorry, I will not forgive him. Third level forgiveness, all are good. Okay. So best one is actually, I don't remember. Santa Mahatmas, they are of that kind. Naneshwar Maharaj, Tukaram Maharaj, Gurudev also. Many times. Okay. Example is given by Naneshwar Maharaj is earth. You do whatever you want with earth. You can dig a hole, you can bore deep in earth, you can do experiment, many things. You can put your feet every day on earth, you can speed, we do whatever we want, but earth is shama, all the time forgiving all. That is the best quality of earth, where you forgive all. Okay. When we go beyond our limit, that time earth shakes a little bit, that is earthquake. Otherwise earth is very, forgiveness is there. Compassion. Okay, last point of our today's class. Compassion means what? Your heart melts when you see others sorrow. We can see that in society totally opposite to this. When people are suffering, you are suffering, they will be happy. Yes, when you are miserable, people are happy. When you tell them I got promotion and progression, they are sad. We had taken land here, there, we had one more house. That's sorrowful in their heart. Actually, this happens nowadays. Your close, near and dear ones also sometimes. It is said your guru and your mother, will be happy when you flourish in your life. Very strong word from Dhaneshwar Maharaj. Not even your father. He did not take father in that, two things. Only Guru and your mother. I don't, you can think over this. Okay. So they will be happy when you flourish, when you prosper in your life. Okay. So your heart melts basically when you see other people are suffering. Okay. Only that is not enough. Okay. If people are suffering, you feel every day how many people are dying. Oh, accident has happened here. This is not actually compassion. So compassion, kripa is what? That compassion causes us to do whatever we can do to relieve other people or person. Okay, so not that I whole day I regret, or I, all the time, so what happened to these people, now how many people are dying. What you can do, that compassion, that kripa should impel you or compel you to do something. Then only it is worthwhile having compassion. Otherwise, people are suffering, you are also suffering at mind level. Here you can see one shloka, because Gurudev's Jayanti is coming. I thought this is a wonderful shloka. Guruji is writing about Gurudev. That same compassion Gurudev had. Same compassion, because so many people, ascetics, they studied with Gurudev, but nobody thought that let us go in masses and taught them Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, start study class, Bal Vihar, Devi groups, Shushu Vihar. Nobody thought like this. Only Gurudev thought. Why? Because compassion was there. Yes. And Guruji says the same thing. Nishkriya karuna kwapi safala na bhavishyati. You have compassion, but that is nishkriya. That compassion is not prompting you to do something. Just you are regretting, or just you are worried. You are showing sympathy on people. That is of no use. Nishkriya karuna kwa. This is for Gurudev. This is Krutadnyata Stotram, composed by Pujya Guruji, Tejomananda ji. He says, Gurudev, you had compassion for all, but that compassion brought you down to the plane and you did so much for the society. Yes. And compassion and not doing anything is safalana bhavishyati. It will never be a successful. That compassion will give you more sorrow. Iti matva sarvadaiva karmani vartate yatihi. And this was totally, Gurudev was convinced with this. So he did lot of karma. Sannyasi, but he did karma more than a grahastha. We'll see when Gurudev's Jayanti that day, means in our Pradnyodaya classes. Okay, so the upama is given, that metaphor or simile is given of buttermilk. If that buttermilk, not buttermilk, that clarified butter, ghee, when that ghee comes in contact with heat, that time it melts. But this simile is not, as perfect for sadhu mahatmas. Tukaram Maharaj says, mrudu sabahya navanita taise sajjana che chitta. That great people, they will have always compassion, and their heart is like a clarified butter, like a ghee. But it is not like ghee, it is unlike ghee. How? Because that clarified butter requires heat to melt, and this Santa Mahatma, they don't require any outer external thing which will prompt them this compassion. They will just see people suffering and they will jump to dispel their suffering. They will jump to take out from that suffering. So this is called kripa, compassion. And equanimity of mind, you can see Ramji's example. When Ramji was about to sit on the throne, and next day Ramji was told, you are going to go in forest. He said, wow, what a great thing. This is, you can see equanimity of mind. It is written in shloka that the glow of Rama, did not came down. come down. Glow on the face of Rama did not come down when he told to go to the forest. He said, Dasharatha Raja is giving me the forest of kingdom of forest, and Bharata will rule over in this kingdom. You can see the equanimity of mind. If we are supposed to sit on throne or any position, next day we are going to be a manager in company, and that company says no, we are just postponing that after 1 week or 1 month. We can see the state of our mind. And Rama, you can see equal. So that is called samata, raju jore. And always our life is always encompassed by the sukha dukkha mana apamana shita and ushna. So if we can manage to stay stable, equanimity of mind in this situation, then we can control our horses. Okay, so 3 horses, 4 horses, 3 reins. That solution problem we will solve. So if krupa is there, krupa, compassion is there, then parahita you can control. Parahita horse you can control when shama is there. Okay, when actually I didn't thought over it much, but if shama is there, shama, then your bala, your strength will be more. So shama rein can control bala. Samata, equanimity, can control vivek and dama. So if you are equal in all situations, then your viveka is also controlled, and your dama. If viveka is jagrata, then sense organ also are not turbulent. And when krupa is there, then parahita ghore. If compassion can, you see now it is clear. Compassion horse, parahita horse is controlled by krupa. Okay, viveka and dama, they are controlled by samata, and bala, strength horse is controlled by kshama, because you need lot of strength to forgive a person. So 3 reins can control 4 horses. Okay, here we will stop. Next also very nice portion is coming. Who is the Sarathi and what are the other things? We'll see in next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.